What if I told you the number one reason most men over the age of 60 struggle with weak erections has nothing to do with testosterone and nothing to do with aging? In fact, the biggest culprit may be something far more unexpected. Something as small as a vitamin deficiency. Yes, a single missing nutrient that, once restored, can dramatically transform how your body responds during intimacy. I am Dr. Robert, a men's health specialist with more than 3 decades of experience treating sexual dysfunction in older adults. I have helped thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s regain their energy, confidence, and performance in the bedroom. And I did it not through risky procedures or dangerous medications, but through safe, medically backed strategies based on real science. Today, I want to share something most men have never even heard about. A vitamin that is often thought of as just for women. Its health turns out to be one of the most powerful tools for restoring male sexual performance. It does not only support blood flow, it also boosts nitric oxide production, improves artery flexibility, helps balance testosterone, and increases energy. The best part is, this is not a gimmick. It is real, simple, and something you can start addressing naturally, starting today. So stay with me, because in just a few moments, I will explain exactly how this vitamin works, how to take it safely, and why men who begin now are seeing real results, all without ever touching a blue pill. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a science-based health tip designed especially for men like you. And if this message resonates with you, type the word 1 in the comments. If it does not, type 0. Your feedback helps me create better guidance that truly meets your needs. Now, let us talk about the real reason erections weaken after age 60. Many men have sat across from me, frustrated and discouraged, asking the same thing. Doctor, why does this keep happening? They are talking about erections that are no longer what they used to be. They are not as firm, not as consistent, and sometimes completely absent. Most men assume this is just part of getting older, a slow, inevitable decline. But here is the truth I wish every man knew. Age is only a small part of the picture. The deeper issue lies in the blood vessels themselves. As we get older, our arteries, especially the tiny vessels that send blood to the penis, become less flexible, more inflamed, and more easily blocked. These microvessels are incredibly sensitive. Even a slight drop in blood flow can drastically affect your ability to perform. Add in oxidative stress, poor circulation, and the silent buildup of internal damage to vessel walls. And it is no wonder things are not working like they once did. But here is the hopeful part. The same changes that make erections more difficult can also be improved, often significantly, with the right kind of support. And that brings us to this often forgotten vitamin, because unlike pills that just cover up the symptoms, this nutrient addresses the real cause of the problem. Now, let me explain why this one overlooked vitamin can help restore strong, lasting erections from the inside out. I still remember the first time I read the research. It showed a clear connection between a simple vitamin, usually associated with prenatal care, and real, measurable improvements in male sexual performance. I was skeptical at first, but the science was solid. The vitamin is called folic acid, also known as vitamin B9. Most men never think about it. It is not marketed as a men's supplement, but it plays a powerful role in the systems that determine whether you can achieve and maintain an erection. This water-soluble vitamin is essential for cell growth, DNA repair, and red blood cell production. But more importantly, it supports healthy blood flow and circulation, the very foundation of sexual function. I have seen older men in their 60s and 70s who had completely lost confidence in their bodies. And when we corrected their folic acid levels, their energy returned, their self-assurance came back, and their relationships changed for the better. This vitamin does not just help performance. It supports everything that performance depends on. What makes folic acid truly unique is how it interacts with your blood vessels. Through its influence on nitric oxide, the molecule that powers every erection you have ever had. And that brings us to the next essential point. folic acid, and blood flow. This, in many ways, is the true key to healthy and lasting erections. Whenever I sit down with my patients, men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, I always return to one fundamental truth. Without proper blood flow, an erection simply cannot occur. Not a weak one, not a partial one, none at all. It does not matter how much testosterone is in your system or how strong your desire may be. If blood cannot reach the area where it is needed most, nothing happens. This is where folic acid plays a surprisingly vital role. Folic acid directly affects a substance in the bloodstream called homocysteine. Most men have never heard of it, but elevated levels of homocysteine silently attack the inside of your blood vessels. It roughens the inner walls, reduces elasticity, and encourages plaque buildup. And unfortunately, the tiny arteries that supply blood to the penis are often the first to be affected. In my practice, I have seen this again and again. Men with low folic acid frequently have elevated homocysteine and more difficulty maintaining firm erections. But here's the encouraging part. Folic acid can help lower homocysteine, protect your blood vessels, and improve circulation where it matters most. That means when the moment arises and you feel aroused, your body can actually respond. And when healthy blood flow is restored, everything begins to shift. Stronger erections, longer duration, and a powerful boost in confidence. Many of my patients have come back to me and said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm 20 years younger." And that's not just an exaggeration, because what folic acid does for your arteries is not only physical, it is deeply personal. Now, what if I told you that folic acid does something even more remarkable than improving blood flow? Something that supports the exact same biological function that medications like Viagra try to stimulate, only naturally. Let me explain. Folic acid and nitric oxide, the real foundation behind every erection. There is one molecule that determines whether or not a man can achieve an erection, and it is not testosterone, adrenaline, or even desire. It is something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the silent switch that triggers every firm, lasting erection you have ever had. Without it, nothing happens. With it, the process works smoothly. And this is exactly where folic acid becomes even more powerful than most men ever imagined. I remember discussing this with a patient in his early 70s. He was frustrated, disconnected, and felt like he had tried everything without success. When I told him that a common vitamin could help his body produce more nitric oxide naturally, he was stunned. But the science is undeniable. Folic acid supports the enzymes that generate nitric oxide in the inner lining of your blood vessels. That nitric oxide is what signals your vessels to relax and open up, allowing blood to rush in freely, especially during moments of arousal. What is fascinating is this. Nitric oxide is the very mechanism that drugs like Viagra and Cialis attempt to stimulate. But folic acid allows your body to do it naturally, without synthetic chemicals and without side effects. It works with your body, not against it. And for many men, that means firmer, more spontaneous erections, the kind that feel genuine and effortless. That shift brings back not just function, but peace of mind. You stop doubting yourself, and you begin feeling like your true self again. But folic acid's benefits go beyond the moment. It has long-term effects on your hormones, your energy, and even your fertility. And this often surprises men the most. Let us talk about that next. Testosterone, energy, and male vitality. When men seek help with sexual performance, the first thing they often bring up is testosterone. And yes, testosterone matters. It influences drive, energy, mood, and physical strength. But what many do not realize is how interconnected testosterone is with other systems, and how folic acid supports that entire hormonal and energetic framework. I recall a patient who was 64 years old. He said to me, "Doctor, I do not feel like a man anymore. My energy is gone. I am tired all the time. I can't focus. I can't even think straight." What he described was not just low testosterone. It was an overall system collapse. a slow unraveling from within that needed to be rebuilt, and folic acid became a foundational part of that restoration. Folic acid helps your body produce red blood cells, which deliver oxygen and nutrients to your brain, muscles, and reproductive organs. It regulates the nervous system and supports the production of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that influence mood, concentration, and even desire. And within the testes, where testosterone is produced, folic acid helps maintain cellular health and protects against oxidative damage. When men restore healthy folic acid levels, they often notice renewed clarity, motivation, and masculine energy. They feel reconnected with themselves, not because of a temporary fix, but because their system is finally being supported where it needs it most. But here is something else that's important to understand. Even if you are eating a relatively healthy diet, your folic acid levels might still be too low, especially as you get older. So next, I will show you how to get enough folic acid the right way, through smart, natural, and safe strategies you can begin using today. 6. How to get enough folic acid. The safe, doctor-recommended way. One of the most frequent questions I hear from men after learning about the benefits of folic acid is this. All right, doctor, where do I begin? I truly appreciate this question, as it shows they're ready to take charge of their health. But starting the right way means more than just picking any supplement off the shelf. It requires knowing how this vitamin functions within your body and how to help it absorb properly. Naturally, folic acid is present in leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collard greens. It's also found in foods like lentils, beans, avocados, and certain fortified cereals. But here's what I've observed over the years. Most older men, even those who are mindful of their diet, often fall short of getting enough from food alone. As we age, our digestive system becomes less efficient. On top of that, some medications can interfere with nutrient absorption entirely. That's why I frequently suggest a high-quality folic acid supplement, particularly for men over 60 who are struggling with fatigue, reduced circulation, or declining performance. The standard daily recommendation is 400 micrograms. However, in clinical settings, slightly higher doses are often used safely to support sexual and cardiovascular function. And here's a valuable tip. Folic acid works even better when combined with vitamin B12 and vitamin C. This trio improves absorption and creates a powerful synergy that benefits your heart, energy, and hormones. Just remember, this isn't about taking massive doses. It's about staying consistent. When you provide your body with the support it needs, it will reward you in ways you may not have felt in decades. But the power of folic acid goes beyond circulation and energy. What it does for your overall health, your heart, brain, and aging process is something every man deserves to understand. 7. The bonus benefits. Heart health, brain power, and aging gracefully. One of the truths I often share with my patients is this. If something supports your heart, it almost always supports your sex life too. And folic acid is a prime example. While we've already discussed its effects on erection, strength, and testosterone support, many are surprised to learn just how wide-reaching the benefits really are. This vitamin doesn't just help blood flow to one part of your body, it improves circulation system-wide. By reducing homocysteine levels, it helps lower inflammation in your arteries, decreases the chances of plaque forming, and reduces the risk of strokes and heart attacks. For men over 60, these aren't just health perks. They could be life-saving. But it gets even better. Folic acid also plays a vital role in protecting your brain. It supports memory, sharpens focus, and helps prevent cognitive decline that often accompanies aging. I've had men tell me, "Doc, I didn't just feel better in the bedroom. My mind feels clear again." That's not just a placebo. That's biochemical. Support working at the neurological level. It also acts as a powerful antioxidant, shielding your cells from oxidative damage, the kind that accelerates aging. That means stronger immunity, healthier skin, more energy, and even a slower decline as you get older. And when combined with the right minerals, the benefits amplify. Let's talk about those next. 8. Why this really matters after turning 60. There comes a moment when you look in the mirror and realize the changes are real. Your energy fades earlier in the day. The extra weight is harder to lose. And maybe, most quietly, your confidence in the bedroom starts to slip. I've seen this moment in the eyes of hundreds of men, and every time I feel the weight they carry. But here's something I need you to hear. This isn't just about sexual function. This is about identity, about how you feel in your own skin, your sense of strength, confidence, and connection. Just because you've crossed into your 60s or 70s doesn't mean you've left that part of yourself behind. It's still there. And for many, it just needs the right kind of support to reawaken. I've watched men reclaim that part of themselves, not through expensive procedures or miracle pills, but by nourishing their body with what it needs. When your blood vessels open up again, when your energy returns, when your body begins to cooperate, your posture changes, your relationships deepen, your entire presence shifts. That's why this matters, because it's not only about performance, it's about presence and feeling fully alive again. 9. Final thoughts. Start small. Start today. One of the biggest lies older men believe is this: it's too late for me. I've heard it more times than I can count. But I'm here to tell you, as a doctor, and as someone who's walked this path with thousands of men, it is never too late. Your body still listens. Your body still responds. Sometimes, all it needs is consistency and a little encouragement. You don't need to turn your life upside down. You don't need to look or feel like you did at 25. What you need is a beginning. Choose one better habit today. A healthy breakfast. A short walk instead of the recliner. A supplement that supports your energy. These small shifts build momentum. Folic acid might seem like a tiny step, but it's doing serious work beneath the surface. Protecting your heart, fueling your hormones, boosting your vitality, and bringing life back to the parts of you that you thought were gone forever. I've seen it with my own eyes. Men who thought they were finished come alive again, not because they fought to look young, but because they embraced who they are now and honored their body with care. So if this message resonated with you, let it be your reminder. You don't have to settle. Your best days may still be ahead, and that journey starts with a single step. One small decision made today.